And at this point, I'd like to turn the meeting over to the superintendent for his report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just have a few items tonight. We have, a few extra slides as, we haven't been able to present as much lately. Our last meeting was mostly focused on the budget. So we do have a few extra slides. We're going to go through just some end-of-year updates, some spring updates, and mostly joy, a few things personnel related and other such announcements, but mostly good things happening at the end of the year. So just our cover slide, just our students from ALA, Upper School, Unidos, HLC, who went out, took their class of 2024 pictures a few weeks ago. A lot of happy faces there. Next slide for us, Dave. We do have some district leadership updates. Again, these appointments have been made over the last several months, and we want to keep everybody updated. We made an appointment for the principal of the Oliver Elementary School, Angeli Alba Burgos, and she's currently an assistant principal at the School for Exceptional Studies, and she's going to be the principal of the Oliver Elementary School. She is well known in the community. She graduated from Lawrence High School. She attended the Frost and the Oliver School when she was a student, and she has been working for the district for multiple years in multiple roles. We're very excited for her. We know she's going to do a wonderful job. To take over as our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Jennifer Perry, who is currently Director of Teaching and Learning in the Barnstable Public Schools, is going to be joining us on July 1st in that role to keep pushing forward on the teaching and learning and making sure our kids are learning what they're supposed to and our teachers are getting the PD that they need to keep doing an excellent job. In the areas of assessment and accountability, a familiar face, Dr. Lynn Katerius, is going to be our Supervisor of Assessment and Accountability for 24-25. She is currently the Director of Student Services and Special Education in the Amesbury Public Schools. So for us, it's terrific to be able to appoint someone internally and also have folks from outside the community who are interested in working here in LPS to do the hard work moving forward. So we're excited for those appointments. We do have a couple of vacancies. Our Deputy Superintendent position is vacant and posted. Our Chief Financial Officer, Ariel Perez, has done a terrific job for us, is also moving on. That position is also posted. And Mr. Carrero will be filling those positions in early July, I believe. So those positions will be open so that he can make those appointments for those final two leadership positions for the district. Next slide, Dave. And speaking of staffing, we did add 126 new positions for this year on top of any folks that do leave us over the summer. So we are busy trying to fill our staffing positions. We did conduct 2 in-person hiring fairs in mid-May, one at Lawrence High School and the other one right here. The one at Lawrence High School was for secondary positions, and pre-K through 8th grade was held here. All of our current postings are up on the district website, so if you do know anybody who is interested in para teaching, any type of administrative position, those are all posted on the LPS website, and pretty easy to apply. So share that on your LinkedIn page and your social media so we can get those positions filled. Speaking of professional development, we have a lot going on this summer. We have the QTEL Institute for 30 educators, and they're going to be attending to cultivate their tools, especially for students who are learning English. We have a bunch of staff members, 75, who are going to the Unbound Ed Standards Institute, again, on how to hit the power standards that kids need to know to do well in the content areas and on their state assessments. And then we have impact coaching for instructional coaches to help them give teachers feedback on how to help them grow. So we have a bunch of different things going on. We have, again, critical masses of staff members attending together so that they can work as a team on these things in the upcoming year. So we're excited about our ability to have our teachers attend professional development during the summer as well. Next slide, Dave. Summer programming, of course, we don't want anybody to not be able to take advantage of summer learning opportunities if they so desire. So our summer learning and extended school year programs are set to start on June 26th. They're going to run for 5 weeks, all the way through August 1st. We do have some buildings that are closed this summer. For example, the Arlington and here are going to be closed. So students whose neighborhood school is closed will receive transportation to another one of our buildings so that they can be in a temperature-controlled space. Like while the fire alarm system here is being worked on, the students here will be bused to a different location so that they will be able to take advantage of summer learning. And we have about 2,200 students who are going to participate in summer learning across the district. So it's a good number of students. So we're excited about that. And there's a couple pictures. Those were a couple pictures from last year. So we're going to have a fun summer as well. Next slide, Dave. kind of going back to something that was referred to in the superintendent's evaluation, again, cultivating our BIPOC and culturally responsive staff. Our Latinos for Education Aspiring Latino Leadership Fellowship concluded recently. We had Catherine Almonte, we had Nellie, we had Angie's, we had Melendez, Maria Ortiz, Lynette, and Marianella, as well as Raquelma Vargas, who wasn't able to attend the final session. They attended the Latinos for Ed Aspiring Leaders Fellowship and had their last meeting at Harvard on May 3rd. Their final projects included family engagement, supporting students, staff, social emotional competencies, and strategies to support our students who are learning English. And again, this is part of our district commitment to workforce diversification and investment in folks who currently work for us. Next slide, Dave. Right here, about 2 months ago, it was like right after our last board meeting in April, we had 59 parents and families graduate from the LPS Adult ESOL program. And these folks had attended class weekly since all the way back to September. And almost 60 folks participated, and they were all here. We listened to them talk about why they were learning English, some to help themselves get a different job, others to help their grandchildren with their homework. Very inspiring stories. 25 of them moved up to English level 3, 27 moved up to English level 2, and 7 are going to stay at level 1 and work on level 1 during the next session. So a lot of them, 25 of them moved up 2 levels of English, and they were not here every day doing this. So it was only a couple nights a week, so congratulations to all of them. Next slide. With Groundworks Lawrence and a few of our elected officials, the Bruce School celebrated Arbor Day. They planted several trees along the perimeter of the school that are out there. Look really, really nice. And also talking about, how plant life not just improves the ambiance and the look of the school, but also leads to more oxygen in the air and other science-related things. So great project, great collaboration with Groundworks Lawrence, our city councilors, and the Bruce School. Next slide, Dave. A bunch of updates for the arts. Recently, our student art and self-portrait exhibit was on display at Lawrence Heritage State Park. The exhibit was open for several weeks. Kids would do their artwork, and then they would also write a description of their artwork. For example, the first picture with the 2 young men standing there, where the student wrote about that's him and his best friend, and they like to climb a hill together, and the hill, the little route that they climb is in the background. So they not only had to work on their art skills, but they were also using literacy at the same time, being able to write and explain what their artwork was about. And Lawrence Heritage State Park has been a great partner to our Performing and Fine Arts Department, Visual Arts Department, as they have allowed us to have our exhibit there for several years in a row, so we thank them. Part 2 with the theater. The Tarzan production was a big hit. Recently at the high school this week, they won a bunch of awards from the Massachusetts Educational Theater Guild, including the best overall production of any high school production in the Commonwealth. So congratulations to all of them. It was really, really wonderful. They already have things planned for next year. You can see their posters for their productions next year up already in the buildings and on social media. So mark that on your calendars for when the summer and the fall performances will be. Next slide, Dave. Performance arts, visual and performing arts students recently performed outside of City Hall. In between, us, City Hall, and the far side, they did a kind of like a flash mob. They just showed up and did a great presentation. We worked, again, with Martha Velez and the folks over in City Hall to be able to put this on. And then recently, last week, LHS right down the street, we hosted the district dance performance showcasing kids from the Partham, Oliver, Gilmet, and also Lawrence High School, and they put on a terrific show. Unified Games occurred about 3 weeks ago in conjunction with our partners at New Balance and the Massachusetts Special Olympics. 2 site locations, one right here and the other one at the high school. We had students ranging from kindergarten through our post-grad program at the high school, where they had opportunities to compete, play games, and have a lot of fun. We appreciate Chief Bonilla coming down and carrying the torch with our friends Aiden and Alexis and a bunch of other folks in the post-grad program at Lawrence High School. Again, New Balance with Lancer. Ton of volunteers from New Balance, so we appreciate them. Again, a lot of fun. When the weather held out, it ended up being a nice day. We were concerned about a little rain, but it ended up being a really great day. So thanks to New Balance, and thank you very much to Special Olympics. And recently, the elementary middle schools have been wrapping up the year with their spring family and community celebrations. We were over at the Lawrence Family Public Academy for Young Authors Night. We bumped into Paula Martinez from the class of 2018. I was excited to talk to her. She came straight from work. She was there with her younger sister, who's in kindergarten and will be a graduate in the class of 2036. And her younger sister in kindergarten showed me her book and what she had written about. Just a terrific night. Again, celebrating literacy on the really young folks, the 6-year-olds, being able to show off their books and talk about why they wrote what they wrote about was really impressive. Tarbox Block Party was a lot of fun too. Live music, a selfie station, and kids were drumming with their teacher, putting on a great show for all the parents and the rest of us who were there. Spring athletics, a ton of things going on with athletics. Our friend Jerome Carrasquillo recently graduated. In the first picture there, receiving the Clegg Medal from Mr. Caraballo and Dr. Reynoso. Clegg Medal is awarded every year for a Lancer who demonstrates honesty and sportsmanship while representing Lawrence High School in athletics. I was able to get over to the tennis program with my racket. My knees don't work as well right now, but I can still swing a racket pretty good. So I took a picture with Mr. Bowers and a couple of the guys from the tennis team. Really a lot of spirit on that team. Great atmosphere. Obi Luciano, who's probably going to take over the world, was recently selected by Moynihan Lumber and the Eagle Tribune as one of the 2 student athletes of the year. He is going to be attending Yale University in the upcoming months. Terrific young man, terrific family, so congratulations to him, and he accepted his award with our supervisor of athletics, Mr. Nealon. We also took a picture over at softball senior night. Kids were celebrating, the young ladies were celebrating their achievements over the last 4 years in softball. And in spring intramurals for the middle school kids, we had over 650 students in the middle schools participating in volleyball and track and field over the last several weeks. So congratulations to them. Next slide, Dave. We were able to attend the military ball right down the street with the JROTC cadets and their staff, and we wish all of them well in their next assignments. Eileen, Imani, and Nicole, who are graduating seniors, we're wishing them well. They were honored. And we also want to thank Lieutenant Colonel Howe, who's on the left there, for his work as the senior Army instructor at Lawrence High School since 2019. He's going to be moving on from Lawrence High School. He's going to take a position at a school in New Hampshire, which is, I'm really happy for him. He's going to be closer to his home and everything, but a terrific guy. He's done a great job for our cadets, and we wish him well. And we also want to thank the American Legion, the older veterans, to come really recognizing our kids, awarding them all kinds of awards, both financial and also, visual medals for them. So it's great to have that connection with folks who have already served working with our young people. Acting Commissioner Johnson took time out of his schedule to visit Lawrence High School and talk to a bunch of our students on May 3rd. We got a picture of him there checking in with Angel and Jaden, and then on the top right, he's checking in with Devin, who sang the national anthem at graduation, has also played the lead in Tarzan. Devin was talking to him about going to the University of Hartford next year, and then the bottom, he's talking to David, our star first baseman from the baseball team, about his plans for Merrimack next year. So he discussed future plans with a bunch of students. Gear Up staff came to check in with him on FAFSA completion, on how our kids are doing in financial aid. And also Sergeant Carballo from the School Resource Officer Unit discussed school safety with him and our redesign of the campus entrance for next year and rationale behind that. So we thank the Commissioner for coming and spending his time with us. Next slide. A couple weeks ago, I got a call from Dr. Ramos at the Weatherby School, and she's like, well, Santander Bank and Junior Achievement are coming over tomorrow. So I said, okay. So I went down the next morning, and usually I park on the street there, but I had to park 4 or 5 blocks away, and I'm like, what is going on? Why are all these cars parked on the street? And then I got inside, and I saw the 50 volunteers who had come from Santander Bank and Junior Achievement just to talk to our kids at the Weatherby about financial literacy, the budgets, the danger of credit cards, right? Spending plans, all of these things. So it was wonderful to see all these folks from the area. We were able to talk to Angel, who's the regional director for Santander Bank. He talked about his youth in Newark, and he was talking to the kids about his experience growing up and the value of having people talk about financial literacy and planning for the future. So we appreciate Santander Bank and Junior Achievement, and great job by the Weatherby School and partnering with them. They've partnered with them for some years now. Civics Day at the high school was a big hit as well. Thank you, Member Matias and the mayor for being there, talking to our kids. Various projects talking about health, safety, housing, transportation, educational policy. And the mayor signed 2 ordinances that had been proposed by LHS students. They had gone to ordinance committee, gone through the process, learned about local government, and been able to present their ideas successfully to the city council. And we appreciate the mayor for signing those ordinances, one of them related to kind of recycling and trash, and the other one related to traffic flows. So we appreciate everybody who was able to come down and talk to our students that day about their projects. Early college wrapped up for this year. We are glad to be able to see these young folks really excel and move on. We had ceremonies at Merrimack College and at Northern Essex. 76 Lancers were recognized over at Merrimack. 5 of them are going to continue at Merrimack as Pioneer Scholars with a full scholarship for the next 4 years. We had almost 100 Lancers over at Northern Essex. 56 of them are going to continue into the 5th-year Promise program. The top picture there with Ms. Peralta and Ms. Siprich, and also Maya and Adriel and Naya, who were at the Merrimack program. And I don't know if you recognize Miliana and Jay Ashley, who emceed our opening of school ceremony, 2 All-Stars from the cheer squad, and Miliana was actually honored as Student Athlete of the Year as well. And then all the football players. Who says the football players can't do early college? All the linemen from the football team went to early college. Source of pride for their coaches that they excel on the field and off as well. So Calvin and JC and the rest of those guys. JC in the middle in white is going to Babson, and we've been joking that he's going to be doing our taxes in a couple of years. So I'm very happy for all of them. We had LPN and Scholarship Night run by the Alumni Association recently. We had 88 seniors and 74 juniors receive the LPN for high GPA and academic scholarship, which was followed by LHS Alumni Scholarship Night. The Alumni Association gave away over 100, or awarded, I shouldn't say gave away because the students have to earn it, right? So the Alumni Association awarded over $160,000 in scholarships to our kids. So congratulations to all of our kids there. We've got a good picture of a bunch of the juniors up on stage, and then a bunch of the seniors receiving their recognition as well. And Mr. Carballo and myself were able to take a picture with Juan Trinidad and his son Franklin. Great example of a wonderful parent and role model for his kids. His oldest son is at UMass Lowell as a sophomore. Franklin, who's in that picture with me and Victor, is a senior, also got the LPN that night and received a scholarship. And Mr. Trinidad and his son and his daughter, they all work at Butcher Boy. So they all work together. You go in there, you can see Franklin works the register, and Mr. Trinidad would be behind the butcher counter if you want to get a steak. Just a wonderful example of a hardworking family, and how hard work pays off for our families. Castleton hosted us for the prom again. If you've never been to Castleton for an event, I would suggest checking it out because it's really a wonderful place. Nice little body of water and a great big function hall. We had, I think, 350 students who attended the prom. We had Jay-Zius, and then on the top right, all the fellows from the track team, all dressed up, and then the bottom picture, Aiden and Lewis took a picture with us. Great weather, and all the students looked very sharp. Of course, graduation, we had almost 700 graduates. So happy for all of them. Over 100 received the seal of biliteracy for proficiency in another language in addition to English. Most of those were Spanish, but we did give some seals in some other languages as well. Our facility staff did a great job. We lucked out, no weather issues, so we had perfect weather outside. Great to be able to be up there with Anthony, Angel, and Nikki, who were the student speakers. The bottom picture with myself is 2 of my former students, Shirley and Shacey, who were in my geometry class a couple years ago, who would help me out passing out Chromebooks and taking attendance for me as we got classes going. So glad to be able to see them and take a happy picture with them. And as this young lady put on her cap, the adventure is out there, and we know that our graduates are going to find that adventure and have success during the adventure. So we wish them all well. It was a great night. We had a bunch of adult learners recently graduate over at Northern Essex, and they're going to be working for us. They have been working for us while they're studying. This is the 6th year we've done the LWFI Para-Educator Program. Again, more of our commitment to recruiting and retaining bilingual, bicultural folks who are going to be able to work well with our kids. These folks over 9 months studied daily to be able to pass the Para-Pro exam. And then as well taking other classes to help them with adolescent development and things like that. Took an intro to teaching course. They're all going to be working in different schools in the district next year in para-educator roles. So all those folks are going to do a great job. They worked really hard this year. They've been in the classroom this year, and they're going to continue next year. Our middle school promotion ceremonies have been this week. I was just at the Oliver School a few hours ago, actually, for their ceremony. Some of the schools have traditional ceremonies. Others, like the Arlington, have like a block party. Kids show up when they want to with their families, and they take a picture. They have something to eat and they move on. Many happy faces across the district. Great job by all of our middle schools in their final assemblies for 8th grade. Last night, we were able to celebrate our adult learners from the Adult Learning Center. They had their graduation last night at the Performing Arts Center. 43 students earned their high school, 43 adults earned their high school equivalency. We had one student who passed the Final M class for their diploma, and we had 43 other adults get their U.S. citizenship. So really, really happy night, tremendous recognition of hard work by the teachers and also by these adult learners. So good for them. And just some final thoughts as we wrap up. So out of the 5 people you see in that picture, 4 of them were born in Lawrence. I was the only one who was not born in Lawrence. On the left, I was attending my 22-year-old's graduation at UMass Lowell. So, you know, multiple hundred kids. And they're putting the kids' pictures up on the big screen. And kind of going back to what the mayor said about, you know, making connections with students and developing relationships. All of a sudden, my daughter starts elbowing me. She's like, look, it's Jenica. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, look at the big screen. So she saw Jenica on the big screen, and she recognized Jenica because Jenica used to work at all the athletic games, keeping score, you know, helping people come in and out, you know, collecting tickets, things like that. And, of course, she would always have something nice to say to my daughter. My daughter would try to sit with her sometimes and talk to her. So she's like, we have to find her outside. So she dragged me around outside while Liam and Luke were with their mom, and we finally found Jenica, and we took a picture with her, and Jenica always had a nice thing to say to my daughter, of course. So it was great to see her, celebrate her. You know, she went to a different high school than my 22-year-old, but they both ended up at UMass Lowell. And, you know, I asked her, I'm like, well, how come you have this blue sash and Liam doesn't? She's like, well, my GPA was higher. So I went back to Liam. I'm like, Liam, you didn't have one of these scholar GPAs thing? And he's like, oh, leave me alone. I got my diploma. So again, just celebrating personal connections to folks. Jenica went to elementary and middle school right here at the South Lawrence East and Spark. And then she went to Abbott Lawrence, and we wish her well in the future. But it was great to see her there, and again, talking more about, you know, developing relationships with folks, and knowing you can count on them when you see them. So. And just a final thought before we turn it over to our exciting duo of Mr. Markins and Ms. Hernandez about facilities use rental. I think, you know, kind of talking about what we were talking about earlier, Lawrence has always been a great place. It's a great place now. It's going to be a great place in the future. You know, things might look different than they looked 80 years ago. The young man in the picture is one of my daughter's great-grandfathers. So he was born on Salem Street, and there's a picture of him in the top left, right in front of the yellow house on Salem Street where he was born. He went to Lawrence High School. He went to St. Pat's, which is now Lawrence Catholic Academy. He went to St. Pat's for elementary school, went to Lawrence High School. And you can see from the yearbook that we dug up last year. His nickname was Hype. He enjoyed sports. He enjoyed photography. He wanted to be a dentist. So although he graduated 80 years ago from Lawrence High School, I said there's probably a lot of kids who graduated Lawrence High School this year who liked photography, liked track, played football, maybe wanted to be a dentist. You know, a nice picture of him in their old snazzy uniforms with the stripes on their arms. Of course, you know, met challenges. He wasn't able to go to graduation. You know, he graduated in 1944, so he was inducted into the armed services, and he served in the Pacific Theater, so he didn't go to graduation, but thankfully he made it through the war, came back. So although, you know, last names might be a little bit different, you know, where you came from might be a little bit different, things are still the same, where kids want to be educated, they want to do things that they like to do, families want the best for their kids, and you know, we have a lot of hardworking families, right? Just like my daughter's great-grandfather came from a hardworking family. Just showed back Mr. Trinidad working hard with his kids at the same place, getting great results. So we know that Lawrence is going to be great in the future. We're going to steal Abbott Lawrence's saying. They say keep running ALA and let's go Lancers. So we're going to say keep running LPS and let's go Lawrence. So a lot of great things coming up because of the hard work of the teachers, all the staff members, the families, folks in the community as yourselves. So we're looking forward to the future, and we know great things are going to keep happening in Lawrence, as they always have.